This week's scenario is from the Longest Night 2017 packet and is the Bewitched scenario. The setup of the scenario is a 5x5 central obstruction, which is the Witch's Hut. After placed, you can add 6 to 8 pieces of terrain on the table. No terrain feature can be placed within 3 inches of another terrain feature with the exception of trenches. Starting on the first player's second turn, at the start of each turn, the player will roll a d6 to determine which of the 6 curses are in play for that turn. The Witch's Hut consists of defense 5, armor 18, and 75 damage boxes to destroy and remove. Victory conditions consist of a player wins if they are the only caster or warlock remaining in play.
Hello all, welcome to the Longest Night scenario. And for this one, I'm going to take Xerxis, the Fury of Halaak, with a Mammoth, a Battle Turtle, Tiberion, and a Gladiator. Don't know why I put the Gladiator in there, mostly because, well, extra 2 inches of movement never hurts. And it is, of course, in the Imperial Warhost theme. So I got the 2 Agonizers and the Basilisk for free. I had 4 extra points. So I figured, you know what? This is going to be fun. So we're going to throw in a Reptile Hound just to see how it works out.
Hey everybody, Taodark here. So this week we're going to be doing a narrative-y kind of fun scenario called Longest Night. It's something we do on the channel every year as kind of just an annual thing that we do. And this year we actually get a new scenario from Privateer Press for Longest Night. It doesn't necessarily involve the whole story arc of the tents and people going crazy. But we've got a scenario with got an old witch in the woods. Obviously Butcher and some of his overseers believe it to be the old witch of Khador and are come to her for counsel or guidance, bringing some of their jacks and obviously some of Butcher's entourage and some of the less ne'er-do-wells of the Kayazy Assassins. But let's see how this plays out.
All right. So there Xerxis is. He hears there's some ruckus out in this swampy, foresty area. A lot of ruckus. Some old lady causing some havoc. So he figures, you know what? I gotta take the Reptile Hound out for a walk anyways. So let's go see what's happening. So he gathers up a few people, and they decide to go out. Stomple's up there. He decides he's gonna get across the table as fast as possible, see what's going on. Sees these other interlopers are also there. These Khadorans, being interlopers, messing with things. So Xerxis decides, you know what? I don't think I like that too much. So he then tramples forward himself after putting up rapport up on the Mammoth, because, well, the poor little Mammoth, he needs help. So why not help him? Also ended up putting Rush up on Tiberion, because we got to get there. We got to figure out what's the noise, why are these Khadorans here, and just go from there. So ends up running up. We're just trying to get up the table, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, then of course all the support pieces, they start coming up going, well, what's going on? Why is everybody running? Nobody knows who's running, why they're running, or where they're going to. Because they're way in the back. They can't see the Khadorans over there. They can't see what's going on. So they're just going to go ahead and make their advances. So, each of those little babies, they're all crying. Wah! What are we doing? Why are we running? I don't understand. And they got to put the little gnawing pain. Because why not? I don't want anybody to be too strong around them. They're annoying. Babies are annoying like that. And of course, the Krea's going, what's happening? I don't know. Let's just go ahead and move up and put up our Animus, and hopefully that it'll help with any kind of shooting that comes in. And then we'll just see what happens after that.
Khador, turn 1. So as I mentioned earlier, there is an old witch in the woods, and this is kind of like a dried up riverbed type scenario. Where Butcher and his entourage of men and a couple of his jacks, including his favorite Ruin, are in place, and they arrive on the scene, and there's these scum and villainy of the Skorne Empire have come and, from the looks of it, are trying to assault the Old Witch of Khador. So obviously we're going to go into this scenario with kind of a, we need to save the Old Witch to make sure that the Old Witch of Khador is safe, and that she continues to protect the Khadoran Empire. Some of the snipers are basically, they're advancing up because we're snipers. Our job is to kill casters. So they're going to turn around and start shooting at this large man on a rhino. The jacks are advancing forward, basically just getting to protect Butcher, protect the caster. There's a giant mammoth on rounding the corner of this hut, and sensing the danger to their warcaster, they advance up. Ruin, being a little bit more self-aware, sets himself up to prepare for Tiberion to come in. And then Behemoth, also being somewhat self-aware, is going to kind of advance up and see if he can't put some damage into this big giant mammoth before it gets in. The Greylord Turnians, or I'm sorry, not Greylord Turnians, the Forge Seers are basically going to kind of condense in. This is a just military tactic of basically trying to make sure that the warcaster is safe while being efficient to the battlefield. So they're advancing away from these gargantuan creatures that are coming around the bend, and making sure that they're supporting their caster and in turn the jacks. However, the Kayazy Assassins are just crazy. They're not necessarily concerned about it. They're assassins. They're going to go try and flank around the corner and get around this big giant mammoth and kill the caster.
All right, that was just uncalled for, not polite. We're out here trying to see what's causing this big old ruckus. They want to start shooting us. They want to start being all aggressive, coming at us. All we're trying to do is, see what's going on. Tell them to keep it down, move along. There's no reason to be aggressive, be mean about it, So we got to do what we got to do. First, we got to sit there and figure out, okay, well, what is this that's happening? There's some crazy old lady comes walking on the porch, curses at us, and then leaves us be. What's going on there? I don't understand it. It's like, wait a minute here. Why is she cursing at us? We didn't do anything. So, something about some bloodlust or something along those lines. We're like, whatever. Go back inside, crazy old lady, and keep it down. So, we're like, but these other guys, these Khadorians, they just don't want to go away. They want to, they're yelling at us. Oh, take that. And then, they're just trying to, hurt us, trying to be mean to us. What do we do to them? We're just out here trying to keep the peace. Trying to keep it quiet, trying to keep it civil. Trying to bring, order and whatnot to the rest of Imran. But no, they gotta be out here being all rowdy, like some, I don't know, some weird backwood hillbillies. So, we're gonna start knocking on the building first to try to tell her to keep it down some. So the Gladiator, he moves forward, he starts knocking on the building, going, hey, keep it quiet in there. We don't want to hear your arguments, your business going on. Keep it down. Keep it quiet. We don't need to hear about it. So he beats on it a little bit. He puts up rush upon Tiberion, because you know what? Tiberion sees somebody that's out there wearing a fur coat. Tiberion doesn't like that. Tiberion's part of PETA. He doesn't like people wearing fur coats. He wants to help take care of that. So he needs to get a little bit up further at the table. So, as the Gladiator finishes up doing what he's doing, he's just sitting there knocking on this building going, get quiet, I got the baby back here. All this noise keeping the baby, making the baby cry. It's not good. It is not good whatsoever. So, he beats on a little bit, put some cracks in the walls. Then Xerxis goes, here, let me come up, let me help you a little bit. He goes, puts up rush on the mammoth, because the mammoth goes, they got these little guys over here, I just want to, squash them like peas under my toes. And they've got some bigger guys over there that just look menacing. They look like they're going to come across and cause some troubles. So Xerxis comes up, puts up rush on the mammoth, ends up popping his feet, because, he knows this is the time that things are going to have to happen. So he goes and he just keeps on buying. And he keeps on knocking on the side of the building going, hey, lady, Quit complaining. Be quiet in there. We don't want to hear you cursing anymore. It's just not appropriate. So now all of a sudden Derp Turtle up there goes, wait a minute here. Something's going on. I've got to get it, figure out what's happening. So he comes in on those guys who decide to shoot people. How rude is that? Shoot some guy just because he decides to show up, on somebody else's property. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But they did. So now the Derp Turtle's like going, guys, they're my friends. Chill. Unfortunately, the Derp Turtle gets a little too excited. Takes his tail. Boom. Knocks the first guy down with the tail. Well, maybe kills him. Who knows? Semantics, right? But he gets really excited. Starts berserking all over the place. And just starts taking these guys out with guns, going, wow, boom, taking them out. And next thing he knows, he's like going, wait a minute here, there's nobody else left for me to get excited over. That's when the gunner goes, you know what? I got this. Watch this. And he goes, you know what? That looks like a bad Santa back there. Why don't I go ahead and try to shoot Santa? Because, nobody wants a Santa in the swamp. All he's going to do is make more ruckus. So he goes ahead, swivels the cannon, boom! Takes Santa down. What's that? Santa got a twin. Can't have a twin Santa in there, because one Santa's bad, two's even worse. Gotta take them both out. Because there's no reason for either one of them to be there. So boom, takes out second Santa. Now he's got some big, bald Santa just sitting out there going, oh, you killed my guys. Now we're going to have a fight. Because we know that bald guy is not going to go quietly. We don't know. Maybe he's been drinking. We don't know. He just looks really, really pissed. But we got to do what we got to do. So, we get some of the people coming up. The puppy, the Reptile Hound, he comes out. He comes running up to where he can, be out of the way because he's little. He doesn't want to get stomped underfoot. There's a lot of big guys out there. No reason to hurt the little dog. So put the little dog off to the side, just so he's out of the way. No big deal. And then we take then the Krea activates. She moves up. She's like, well, what's going on? Everybody's getting all excited. Why don't we all just calm down? And then the Beast Handlers go, don't worry, we got this. We're going to help keep things real calm. So they condition a little bit. They enrage a little bit. I guess enraging is not really calming things down. But, the conditioning was, gotta, bring it down some, relax, woosah kind of stuff, making it nice and relaxed. So now, Tiberion's looking at that guy over there with the fur coat. I'm going, yeah, I'm really not digging it. I'm really not digging what this guy's up to. So he goes and he charges in. And, typical Skorne fashion, butt first. Boom, right there. Getting ready to grab him, give him a Dutch oven type thing, just right there between the cheeks. Swings, with enrage up, he's just going to town. Just trying to do whatever he can to stop that guy from, wearing the fur coat when he doesn't need to. Because it is just uncalled for. Completely uncalled for. So he swings, does his business. First of all, starts with the Tetsubo. Then he goes with the shield. Then he goes with the tusks. And it's like, well, if this isn't gonna do anything, I need to keep on going because I just gotta buy until you drop that fur coat because there's no reason for you to wear it. It's not even that cold. There's no reason for you to be wearing a fur coat out here. It's not cold. It's almost summertime. It's balmy. So might as well just drop it and move away. There's no reason to wear it. Move along. So, after buying a couple swings, the guy finally accepts the fact that, there's no reason for him to wear it, so he drops the coat. Well, now his buddy next to him is like, wow, why is he dropping his coat for? So Tiberion smacks him too. And then repositions because of overtake, because he gets that with Xerxis. Not because, he really needs it, but because, well, it's no work, no reason not to get a little closer to Daddy, to Daddy Xerxis. So now the Mammoth goes, well, you know what? If you can do that, I can do that. Why can't I do that? I should be able to do that as well. So now we're trying to figure out, will the Mammoth be able to get there with the push? You know, will he get there with the push? It looks like he will, because he has bulldoze. He's like the perfect heavy equipment out there. So he comes up, he pushes, and then, you know, we're going to put a little proxy base out there just so we can show you where he's pushing to. So boom, hits the first guy. First guy goes reeling backwards like, what's going on? Goes reeling back. Boom, just like that. Then the underboss. You know, I don't care for the underboss too much. The guy's a chump. He just needs to go. He just needs to go. So he's going to run into him next. Boom. He's going to run into him, pushing him back 2 inches. Boom, just like that. And then, you know, the Mammoth's going to continue his movement just like that, pushing the last guy back, going, you can't be the only one. Everybody's going to get some special treatment. We'll put the Mammoth back in just a second. But, you know, it's kind of empty right there. It's kind of a placeholder. So now he starts off. He goes with the first fist, swings on that jack, because, well, why not? That's who he went after, right? Second swing, boom. After that jack again, you know, doing some more damage. Yay, more damage. Then he takes the tusks up into the jack. And then, let's see. You know what? It doesn't matter. He just will keep on going. Because I think he takes his tusks against the underboss. Underboss can't handle the tusks. Can't handle them at all. Oh, look at that. I get a berserk swing. So now he's going to berserk swing with a fist into, I think, the jack. Because that's what he's there for. He's there to take that guy out. So, you know, he goes, swings, does a little more damage. Not a lot, you know. Unfortunately, you know, guy ducked or something. Who knows? So he buys another attack. Let's see what happens. He hits, and he does some more damage. And then he gets 2 more swings. He gets 2 more swings on this. So he's going out, just doing everything he can. He kills the guy. Oh, look at that. Kills them all. Another berserk swing. This is old lady's curse. Boom. He's just swinging on these guys under his feet. He almost can't miss these people. You know, it's just crazy. So boom. He just, you know, takes out another guy. Oh, look at that. Are you also in my range? Boom. I'm going to hit you too. And yeah, no tough for you either. Just taking you off the table. All right? So now he's going to, now we're going to put the Mammoth back out there because, well, it just looks more impressive with the Mammoth on the table. You know, just moving his tokens off to the side. And there's my go.
Khador, turn 2. So if it wasn't obvious before, this is clearly the old Witch of Khador. She is assisting Butcher. She's assisting the side of Khador. Last turn, she drove, she threw out some curses at them, which seemed to drive them mad to the point of wanting just to blood frenzy everywhere and basically kill everything. Not only is the Mammoth and Tiberion are now within range of Butcher, but the old witch has in turn even helped us out even further by throwing out a curse on their armor. Now, this curse has washed over them, and Tiberion's armor looks a little bit more brittle, a little bit easier for us to pound through, whereas it has had no impact on the Khadoran armor in any way, shape, or form, still remaining resolute at the armor 20 that it normally is. So obviously, this, you know, you can't dispute this is the old Witch of Khador because she's helping out the Khadoran forces as much as possible. So the Kayazy, seeing the opportunity of glory and going after, some of this crazed animal that have just kind of hurled themselves forward without any caution, has gone in, and now they're attacking the larger mammoth. However, there are a couple members of the Kayazy unit that are less scrupulous, and they are attacking the baby version. It's doing a lot of whining and complaining, and obviously no one likes that, so they just go in and start stabbing, and they remove him, which seems to have an adverse effect of all of a sudden they feel a little bit more rejuvenated and have a little bit more energy to them. They can hit a little harder. So the others in the group start stabbing the bigger one. Don't necessarily do a lot because, I mean, seriously, what can a dirk do to big giant mammoth that's standing in front of you. But, you know, for the glory of Khador, they try. The rest of the rest of it basically is just like there's a Juggernaut who's, I mean, it got crippled last turn. It's basically walking around with its axe arm limp to its side, and its fist is ready to go, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot going for him. So it kind of hobbles around Tiberion and then ends up punching him with the fist, and then using its weaker arm with the claw. Since it still had its cortex, it used the focus allotted to it to boost the damage of that weakened axe, and getting some damage into there. Not much else happening over there, but now we have the man of the hour, Butcher himself. Basically goes in between the two of these two gargantuan, one gargantuan mammoth, another being this beast they call Tiberion, and just goes in and starts spinning his axe around in circles, just going crazy on both of these two. And because of the curse that the old witch had put out, they're at they're basically of only being 4 points off of what he would naturally swing. So through just a various array of swings with his axe, almost a flashing of blades, if you will, we end up just chewing through these two gargantuan creatures. And that really just speaks to the power that is Butcher when he's completely unleashed and off his chain. When somebody goes in and threatens the old witch of Khador, he responds, and he responds violently. To the point where he's basically going to remove both of these massive creatures. It is an impressive sight to see if you have never seen it, but he basically just goes through and starts swinging around. By this time now, the one known as Tiberion is basically almost on its deathbed. It's got like a tear in its eye, like, please don't hurt me. And Butcher's like, I don't care. You must die. And ends up going to swing through and just kills the creature, like never to be seen again, or at least we hope. However, the mammoth is still there. Concern, he's getting a little weakened, his energies are a little low, so there's some concern around it. How do we go? Do we have concerns over our positioning or anything like that? So to kind of preemptively address this scenario, he's going to use the last vestibules of his energy to swing on to the mammoth, and then he's going to energizer himself back in a way, just to give himself a little bit of distance, but also to allow the rest of his group to move around. So the Jack from Prior that had punched Tiberion advances up, and the dogs also advance up, do this energizing will of their caster, to get them in the way of that big giant war turtle that sits at the top, ready to pounce. And then he just goes ahead and used one last swing to take out the mammoth, calling upon the powers of his energy to bring back, to rejuvenate, to give him all of his focus so that he can prepare himself for the battle. And then Behemoth, just being Behemoth, he's got bombards and he wants to use them, so he goes ahead and throws out some bombards. Not necessarily to go after the caster, he's actually hoping that the explosions take out the staff that's nearby. And I do believe one gentleman does explode due to the bombard explosions that happen, but nothing necessarily big happens. It kind of scatters all over the place. One of them actually even starts... basically, he lobs it up in the air, and when it comes down, it ends up scattering off and starts... the wind must have caught it just ever so slightly, because it starts scattering towards the Kayazy, which... let's just say, if you've ever had a behemoth bombard start flying towards you, you start puckering up because you're not long for the world. But it ends up deviating, but it doesn't deviate far enough. It deviates enough that there's a dust cloud that appears over top of the Kayazy, but they live.
All right, we're going to have a moment of silence for the loss of the Mammoth and Tiberion. Unfortunately, they gave up their lives valiantly, trying to help better the world, and unfortunately they didn't better it. Well, they did. They got rid of a fur-wearing Jack, a bald underboss who just wants to be a cruel person to others, and a Juggernaut who probably didn't do anything to anybody else, but looked menacing. So, let's take a moment of silence for them as we do threshold checks. Because, well, I went really, really hot last turn. But I'm back to full. I have only one went crazy, and I think it was the baby Agonizer. Which, funny thing is, Agonizers actually have a weapon now. Who knew? Who knew baby could have a little half-inch fist? I didn't. That's how he got so close to the Mammoth right there. Earlier on, I guess. So now, it's like, well, we got to figure out what's happening here, because we just can't have our guys falling. This old witch is still sitting in there, cackling or having some kind of a strange party. Not having it, not liking it, don't want it around. So we're going to have the Gladiator move up around the side, going, dude, you got to keep it down. And the Gladiator, now that the Gladiator's enraged, he's going to start banging on the back of the house like, hey, keep it down in there. You're too damn loud. Too damn loud. So, there's no reason for him not to sit there and beat on the back of the house because, the lady doesn't want to answer the door. She doesn't want to come to the front. She doesn't want to come around the back. She doesn't want to do anything. All she wants to do is sit up, walk outside, curse somebody, and then go back in. If she'd just keep it down in the first place, none of this would be an issue. But no, she has to keep on, flapping her gums and being an issue. So, the Gladiator keeps on pounding, going, lady, you got to keep it down. You got to keep it down in there. So until, boom, the Gladiator knocks the house down. Now it's like, whoa, what happened? Now Xerxis can see that there's some other guy over there, some crazy axe-wielding guy going, wait a minute. What is this guy doing out here? Why did this guy go out and kill my stuff? That makes no sense. What did they do to him? So he sends the Krea forward and goes, hey, why don't you go spit at him or something? Because he's mean. Unfortunately, the Krea goes, I can't spit that far. It's not laid like a spit. So she just kind of hangs back going, eh. But she still ends up putting up her own animus because she's like, well, I'll still try to be some help. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, how do we get across this crazy axe-wielding guy who just doesn't seem to understand things? So, I'm sorry. She doesn't put up her animus at all. She then decides she's going to try to shoot the dog that's in range with the derp turtle to try to see if she can drop its defense to hopefully try to do something. But, unfortunately, she doesn't roll high enough. And then when she goes to roll on the derp turtle, she doesn't roll high enough on the derp turtle either. So now, all of a sudden, she's useless. She's just standing out there going, whatever. So the derp turtle comes around the side, goes, you know what? I did this before. I should be able to do it again, right? I should be able to put some damage out there, be able to do some good stuff. So he starts off, rolling some dice, trying to figure out what he can do. Goes, but look at that. The dice rolls just really aren't there for him. He can do a little bit he can do a little bit of damage to the jack, a little bit of damage to the dogs. He shoots the bald, angry guy, but he doesn't really do much. Unfortunately, the dice, they decide not to load the weapon that turn. Or something. I don't know. It's something. I don't know what they did. But they, they're like going, we don't want to, we can't do what we did last time. Last time it was just little people. These guys are bigger. These guys are tougher, harder to deal with. Whatever. You know what? They gave it a try, and that's all that matters, right? Because they're out there trying to better the world, trying to do whatever they can. Just like the little dog. The little dog's trying to do his thing, so the dog comes up, the Reptile Hound comes up, and goes to bite the other dog in the butt. Do you know why? Because the Reptile Hound's a good puppy. A good puppy. He did what he was supposed to do. He came up, he charged, he did some damage. He bit the other dog in the butt. He made sure the other dog knew he was there. So there's no reason, so he did his part. That's what he was out there trying to mind his, trying to be helpful. And then his people get attacked, and he retaliates. That's what the Reptile Hound did. His little POW little 8 enraged to POW 10. Boom, right there. Knocked down a 2-headed dog. That's just how he rolls. You know what? Xerxis goes, you know what? I can't have this happen. I can't have it to where my little pet dog does all the work. You know what? I'm going to go in myself. Because, Why not? There's a bald-headed, angry guy over there, yelling and stuff, going, you knocked down the old witch's house. Don't do that. We don't care. We don't care. So you know what we did? We charged in. We hit him. We knocked him down. We knocked his buddy next to him down. You know, Xerxis Rhino is, you know, that's what he does. That's how he lives life. He lives life by knocking people down. Letting them take a POW 14 to the face. That's how he works. Maybe stomp on a little bit, you know. And then, Xerxes goes, well, if they're already knocked down, they're going to be easy targets for me. Because, well, why not? Because they're going to be down there, I'll just kind of swing. But, this bald guy, he's got like a shiny dome syndrome or something, glares and whatnot. So Xerxes up there is trying to swing his Lamenter, and it's like, Whoa! And the glare hits him in the eye, and he misses a little bit, and, doesn't get a good clean strike. Then he takes, well, if that's the case, I'll just stab him with my standard. Goes and stabs him with the standard, and, kind of pins him down a little bit. Then he goes and tries to hit him again, hits him again with the Lamenter, does a little bit more here, a little bit more there. Just kind of like boom, 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 boom. Just kind of going all in because you know why? Because that's how Xerxes rolls. Xerxes rolls where he goes all in. He's all in on it, and that's how he rolls.
Khador, turn 3. This guy is a psychopath. I don't mean butcher. I mean this guy on a rhino. He not only goes through and wrecks the old witch's house. We see it go up in this like green, ethereal, almost hurricane-y flame. But after his beast took out the house, he turns around and goes charging in against the butcher. The butcher of all things. I mean, seriously, you must be a psychopath if you think you can go toe-to-the-toe with the butcher and survive. And I feel like it's only appropriate that butcher respond how butcher should, which is, I have an axe, you have a face, let's meet. So he does. He takes his axe, he swings it into it. First chunk goes into the rhino's armor. The rhino looks wounded and hurt, and then he turns around and just goes to town. Like the second axe comes in and just smashes Xerxes in the face, and he looks extremely wounded, and Butcher's not one for mercy, so he just wipes him out and kills him.
Alright, some afterthoughts. Let's see, some good afterthoughts. Well, let the old lady, crazy old lady out there in the swamp hut, let her do what she needs to do, because, well, you just can't keep crazy, down, as you can tell by, the butcher going out there. I guess he must have been getting ready to go party or something, or maybe he was already partying and he was already crazy. Who knows? I don't know. But, there's no keeping it down. I think everybody did what they're supposed to, and overall, it was a great game. It was a fun scenario. If you haven't had a chance to play it, I suggest you do. The curses can be funny, and yeah, it was really a fun game. It really was. I had a good time with it, and I would definitely play it again. I could see doing this as going to a store event for this. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed watching this, and thank you very much. Have a good night.